everyone, it's Tess, and today's tip 412, and I just figured I better get on here before the day gets away from me. Today I'm going to talk about it is what you eat. Darn it, darn it, darn it. And I guess this has come up so many times it shouldn't be a surprise to any of us. I can even remember in my gym the first time I lost over 100 pounds, the owner kept saying it's 80% food, it's 80% food. And he owned the gym, so he had every reason to say otherwise. But I started looking up articles this morning, and I found some articles in Cleveland Clinic and U.S. Health and Human Services. And I just figured I wanted to look at, because Doc V's talking a lot about foods and how much food do we really need, and how much are we impacted by advertising, and how much is the food we're eating causing us to be lethargic or hopeless or not feeling good. And so I wanted to just kind of look up foods and kind of see what pointers were out there with like Cleveland Clinic or U.S. Health and Human Services. And it kind of came up too because somebody was posting, like, I remember being surprised when I realized that there was protein in greens and in vegetables. And it was something I kind of came to terms with younger, because even my niece is really big on not eating meats. And a lot of it is, like, even doctors have told me, and even my niece has told me, that she feels better when she doesn't eat meats. Hi, Upendra, good to see you. And the reason is that meats can sometimes, they contribute to, and again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not medical, but I've heard that it causes inflammation, or it doesn't help in inflammation. And my niece says she feels a lot better when she doesn't eat meat. And I've heard doctors say that it causes inflammation. And it did remind me yesterday, because somebody posted on Doc V's challenge about how they didn't realize there was protein in vegetables. And I can remember kind of coming to that too, that I didn't realize it. And so I just kind of, like I said, I looked up articles in U.S. Health and Human Services and in Cleveland Clinic just for pointers about food. Hello, hello. And there's someone else on, but I don't see who it is. So good morning to everybody. There were articles on, like, the psychology of food. And I know even myself, I've said that this time in this journey, well, hi, Mary Doe, good to see you. In my journey this time, I've really tried to be aware of how foods make me feel. And I really had no idea until I really stopped. Like, I'll eat a food and I'll wait an hour, and then well, hi, Terry, good to see you. I'll eat a food and I'll wait an hour and I'll see how I feel. And what I'm recognizing is when I was at a BMI of 60, the foods I ate caused me to be lethargic. So it was almost like a circle where I couldn't get out of it, because I thought I needed food, and when I ate the food, then I got lethargic, and then I couldn't have energy to do anything, and it just kept going in a vicious circle. So in looking at these and what I've seen of myself in the past couple of years, is it really does, like, certain foods will just weigh me down. And listen to Doc V, because honestly, it is true. If I'm eating processed foods, I can either taste chemicals, or I feel lethargic, or it's a heavier, denser food. It was interesting because what the U.S. Health and Human Services was talking about, like, even vegetables, fruits and vegetables, even the counting of them is different based on how they're processed, which makes sense when you think about it. If you have a cup of spinach that's fresh, it's a cup of spinach for a serving, but if you cook it, it's half a cup. But a lot of times we don't realize that there's protein in spinach. I was surprised that quinoa, which is a grain, and it's a grain that a lot of people talk about being great for you, it comes with protein in it. Beans, of course, we all know, come with protein and fiber in it. So in so many ways, if we can kind of start to identify the foods, and I think, and Doc V said this, eat the food, wait an hour, and then see how you feel. And is that a food that agrees with your body or doesn't? And it's not even something I have to tell you. It's something that we can kind of think about ourselves. And the reason that we want to kind of think about this is in the Cleveland Clinic, the psychology of eating. Yeah, and it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard for me to pull back. So sometimes, like for Doc V talking about fasting, leaving a space between meals, that's helped me to really pull away and know what impact these foods are having on me. Because I am finding, based on certain foods, I do have more energy, and I am more alert, and I am more positive, and I feel better. And it's easier to move. The more weight I lose, the more movement I have. Even in moving alone, just taking taking small steps and moving. I shared this in the Doc V challenge yesterday, but he wanted something that extraordinary that we did. And the first time I lost 100 pounds, I actually trained with a bicycle team in my gym, but only for 3 months because I didn't even own a bike at the time. And I rode a 300-mile bicycle ride in a weekend. Well, just before that ride, something messed up in my hamstring, and for years my hamstring has bothered me. Of course, I almost immediately started gaining the weight back, and it's only been in the past 6 years that the weight has been coming off. But I just slowly started walking a year and a half ago, and it was just merely a case of getting whatever mileage I could get in. And now I was realizing today that that injury's gone. I don't have the pulling. I don't have the pain. I don't have that whole hamstring area. It was an issue for a long time. And even my mom could kind of say that when we'd walk, I'd have to stop and I'd have to try to stretch it out. And over the course of using it and moving with it, it's usable now, very usable, and I don't struggle with it. I don't have any of the issues. Now I realize they could come back, so I still need to be stretching and still need to be, taking care, but it is in the movement, and it is in making the changes, and it is in fueling my body better. So what they're talking about, the Cleveland Clinic, predominantly about the psychology of eating, when you find the right balance, when you find the foods that make you feel good, it allows you that increased energy. It allows you that alertness. It allows you the positive relationships with those around you and with your food. It allows you easier movement. It allows you a better body image. It allows you to, because it says like what we do is we get in that circle where we attach they say one of the biggest obstacles that people face in trying to break the food thing, because we all know that we say that we get connected to certain foods because we're bored, we're stressed, we're anxious, and we're looking to prolong joy, which is celebrations. And they say the problem with attaching emotions and feelings to food is that after that trigger, you end up feeling worse. So it's that circle that we all know about. So if we allow our food to be the thing that makes us feel better instead of working to just feel better, then we end up in that circle where we never win it. And I will say for myself, what I found, and this is Zara Mahoon, The Law of Attraction, in the journal, and working with her on positive self-worth and self-confidence and positive thought statements and keeping myself above the worry line on the emotional scale, I do know that I can bring myself to a place of feeling good. In a lot of cases, it's nature or pictures or like that vision board. You can see a little bit of it back there. That's Starfire, like Doc V had us do superhero poses. If you can find those things that you can just pump up your energy a little bit, maybe that can help you to detach from the food connection to improving mood and improving how you feel. So I know I kind of went off on this. I started with food is the answer, but it's almost like how it connects to our moods too. And I can say that in the past 2 years with COVID, when I learned to make myself feel better with something other than food, it drastically changed. Working with Doc V, I broke a 2-year weight loss stall, and 6 years out, I'm still losing, and I'm really basically at half my body weight from where I started. So it's something I have to work at every day, and I think this is the one thing. I'm going to have to go back and look and see which author, because I want to give credit where credit is due. But he basically talks about a 1% change per day. We don't need to make big changes. And I can honestly say if I had done the way I did the first time I lost 116 pounds, I would have been gaining weight right now. But because I just am trying to be better tomorrow than I was today, or I'm going to even reword that because that's going forward. Living in the moment, if I'm just working today to be a little bit better than I was yesterday, that's that 1% movement forward. That's all any of us need to do. And I'm sitting 6 years out better than I ever thought I would be. I've shared before that all I was looking for was 10 years. And if after 10 years I was no longer with us, at least I had 10 years active. And ironically, I'm 6 years out right now. That's no longer the way it's going to be. I joke now that the Grim Reaper will chase me down because I'm not going willingly. Now that I know what it is to live on this side of it, I don't want to end. And the number one thing for me is I have removed, and I probably didn't even realize it to this morning, but I released the attachment to food creating my emotions or making me feel better. I'm not going to say it was easy. It was one small step at a time, but it was so worth it. And some of the things are, it is all about self-worth and self-confidence. And Doc Lee told me once that those are the things that will make you successful in weight loss. But the reason they make you successful is because they help you to learn to feel good when you're not feeling good, so that you can turn to something other than food. And even myself, I kind of fell into using exercise as my, and I think my gym owner was trying to warn me about that the first time I lost 100 pounds, is that I tried to use exercise to help me keep the weight off, not recognizing the work I needed to do to stop connecting food to feeling good. It was a hard path to come down, but now that I'm understanding it and I'm seeing it, I really have to keep detaching and look for the ways to remove myself from my emotional attachment to food. It's not easy. It's something I'll have to work at every day. But maybe if we all know that it's something we have to work at, knowing that we're not going it alone will help us to make progress on it. We're in the spring and we can find things to be excited about. A walk on the beach, a walk watching the sunrise, a walk, and I know everything for me is nature, but nature is so healing to me. Anything that you can find, something that makes you feel good. If it means just keeping yourself busy, like my grandma was notorious for keeping a puzzle. And I never realized it as a kid, but what would happen is it would draw us to her. She would be building a puzzle. She would have chairs all the way around the table and we'd sit down and we'd build the puzzle with her. Well, it was her way that she connected with us. Or she taught me to find 4-leaf clovers. And as a kid, I can remember she'd always tell me 5-leaf clovers meant wealth. Well, I didn't find any until after she had gone home, so to speak. She had graduated, as Chris Noggle says. But I found 2 5-leaf clovers since she has passed. And I think that's her telling me that there is so much wealth in this life, so much to be thankful for, so much to be grateful for, and so much to appreciate. So I hope for today you can realize maybe one time where you may be reaching for food because it's an emotion, and that you can catch yourself and just pull back, because it's just one change, one small change every day. And a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, we'll all be amazed and surprised at where we've ended up. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I will be live in Doc V's Transform Your Life Challenge group tonight. Have a beautiful day, and just one time catch it and realize that your emotions are something that you can control and food has nothing to do with it. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day.